Hello, sportsmen. Now, here we are, midwinter. You can hardly tell it. Feels like March outdoors. It's a good time to plan for spring and summer. In the next half hour, I'm going to take you on a combination hunting and fishing trip. It's bow fishing for a creature that you probably don't realize is in Michigan lakes and rivers. It's called a gar. It's an eating machine when it comes to scarfing up small fish. You stay tuned for a bow fishing adventure. I'm Fred Trost, and you're watching The Practical Sportsman. Pat Witherell is backing his customized John boat down the ramp at Wabassis Lake in Kent County.
There we go. He's free.
Dave Koster is Pat's fishing buddy who gets the boat set up for our bow fishing adventure. Now, this kind of fishing is best done at night under spotlights. Wabassis Lake has a pretty good ramp, all concrete, a big help in launching and loading a boat. Now, Pat Witherell won't bowfish much tonight himself. He'll tend the electric motor and the spotlight for Dave and I. Besides being quiet, electric motors are great for maneuvering around slowly in shallow water, and that's how we'll be stalking the fish. I suppose some bow fishermen have fancy equipment, but Pat and Dave use old bows with reels of line that tie to the heavy fiberglass arrows. The tips of the arrows have collapsible barbs so you can get the arrows out of the fish. This kind of fishing is actually more like hunting because you spot the fish with a spotlight, pull the boat alongside it as close as you can, and try to make an accurate shot. There are only a few species of fish that are legal to take with a bow during the spring season. One is a bowfin, commonly called a dogfish. That's what's hiding in the weeds here. Sometimes fish scoot off in the dark, but very often, especially with dogfish, they seem to bury their heads in the weeds, and maybe they think they're hiding. The black spot on the fish's tail is a giveaway that it's a dogfish. You'll be able to see the spot if you look carefully. Dogfish aren't popular because they eat a lot of game fish, and dogfish are not particularly good to eat, according to many people. This is one of the first fish we saw that evening.
Too little to shoot? Yeah. Unless you want to practice.
It's amazing what you can see at night in a weedy lake. Wabassis is extremely weedy. Now, that doesn't make it very good for swimming and boating, but it grows a lot of fish and holds a lot of snapping turtles. Now, this big snapper swam ahead of us for quite a distance. It's not legal to take turtles with a bow, only by trapping or grabbing by hand. Besides turtles and fish, you can see a lot of insects at night, too. The next bowfin I saw, I decided to draw an arrow on for my first shot. So I shoot low, right?
Yeah, it's deeper than you think there. Way too high.
Way too high? I shot so low? Gee, this is a challenge. What makes bow fishing such a challenge is the refraction of the images through the water. Now look how the arrow appears to change direction when it hits the water. The arrow doesn't change, our vision changes through the water. We miss and the fish scoots off. Way too high? I was waiting for you to say, whoa, good shot! What appears to be a good shot from above the water can miss the mark totally. Just look at the weeds under the surface, and they're not all that deep. They appear to shimmer and move, but they're not moving at all. The water is. Pat has a gar in the spotlight, but look how its body appears to wiggle. That's tricks played on our eyes by the water. That gar is actually holding steady, and I have to guess where it actually is. I got him. He's off and running.
He's off and running.
We don't want to get him in the electric motor, do we?
He's already around anyway. Good shot. Yeah.
Well, I just needed a couple practice shots. That's all. Well, up until now, I've been hunting with the bow. Now comes the fishing part, pulling the gar back to the boat, hand over hand. Now, fish are cold-blooded critters, and their nervous systems are not highly developed. They don't feel what we feel.
Yeah.
Strange-looking thing. Oh, boy, is it tough scales.
Oh, they're tough.
Wow.
Watch that mouth.
What'll it do with that mouth?
Oh, he just Just got to roll.
Pinch his head there a little bit and then open his mouth.
And you can't really open. Jeez, oh Pete! Well, I tell you,
Did you get that, man?
I tell you, I'm glad I was sitting down. Oh boy!
Bring him back around.
No bass fisherman kids.
Let's see. As I recall, I was trying to look at the teeth. Well, I'll catch this one again.
They're tough when they take off.
Whoa.
They're hard to hold on to.
Now, what do? I have renewed respect here. What are we going to do with this?
Throw them in this bone can.
Throw them in the bone can, but we got to get the arrow out.
Yeah, well, you'll have to rethread it. What you're going to have to do.
Well, if he does his little flip thing again, huh? Rethread the arrow.
Yeah, push the arrow in.
Pulling the
No,
arrow
you
back
have to go
through the
other
fish
way.
isn't difficult, but the gar's teeth were a concern. All right.
Hold that up, man.
Here he is. Here he is.
Put head down first.
Head down first?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like this. I like this face. But you think it should go the other way? Boy, I'd sure like to open his mouth, but I don't dare, do I?
Push on the side of his head there and right.
Wait. I'll push on the side of his head. He might open his mouth.
Eyeballs there a little bit, hold him up.
Kind of pops his... Will he open his mouth? How close do I get to... Well, I guess we'll have to look at his mouth another time. And we'll cut a shot in showing you what his mouth looks like another time, when it's a little safer. Now, here's the mouth of a mounted gar that's on the wall at the Practical Sportsman Museum. The teeth are like needles, and they line the mouth on the top and the bottom from the tip of the nose to the throat. Okay, I'm going to put him in head first. That is the Gar Pike, and they are slimy. I'm going to wash my hands and we'll get back to work.
I was thinking you had to clean my boat too.
I think you're the man. You're the man, Dave.
Go for it, Dave.
You're the man.
Go for it, Dave.
Come on, Dave. Don't disappoint us, Dave.
You get up there now?
You gonna shoot or cut bait? Take him, Dave. Take him. Lower. Right over him. Boy, am I glad to say that. Right over him. Way too high, Dave. Too high.
Motor's dragging again.
There you go, Dave. That's your shot.
Oh, take the shot, Dave.
Come on, he's only 10 feet down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's go find a big one.
Got him, didn't you?
I don't think so. Yeah, it did.
You did.
Sure did.
See, Dave?
Nothing to it, guys. 10
Huh?
foot down.
Good man. Bring him in here. Show us his teeth.
That's how you shoot him there.
That is, that's a good shot. Oh, he's snapping his teeth.
Yeah.
Dave Coster knows the ropes. He's taken lots of gars. Of course, he's missed his share too, but everybody does. The barbs on the arrow fold back, and the arrow can be pulled back through. Then into the rendering bucket it goes.
Take them off nice and easy.
Good job, Dave.
Here's a dramatic example of the light refraction through the water that makes things look like they're in a different place than they really are. The gar looks like a snake, moving and bending, but it's not. We have to guess where it really is. Right over it.
Reel it back in real quick.
I tell you, that was way high.
Hurry, reel it in.
Get over it, man.
Yeah, well, go ahead and take it, Dave. It's a riot to cruise around the lake at night with the spotlight. The fish don't take off like you think they would. This gar was not bothered by the light or by 3 fishermen shooting at it. Pat uses the electric motor to stay alongside the fish.
You guys both rippling. Way high again.
Way high. Come on, Dave. That shot was low, but the gar stayed in the light, swimming slowly as we retrieved our arrows. It's like it knew what bad shots we were on this evening.
Still there?
Yep, see him?
Man, that was way high, Dave.
I seen that one.
I tell you, it's amazing. Guy like me misses. It's just amazing, isn't it?
Geez, they're getting bigger.
Who would have guessed? Little shiner minnow. Look at that thing, is still alive. Or a perch. It's a perch. Look at he has a mouthful of weeds too.
Yeah, he really went flying after it. Looks like.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? This was a fresh catch by a gar. I'd like to see how he swallows it. Yeah, I wonder when he's going to eat it. Yeah, and it must be tricky, manipulating a meal with a mouth like that. But we won't get a chance to watch this one. We did get a good up-close look at this gar, though. We could even see the needle-like teeth as it held the perch. We could see the fins moving on the perch as it struggled to get away. The gar even had weeds in its mouth. It must have been quite a pursuit. This was an interesting night of bow fishing. Well, gars have nasty teeth, but I did not get nailed despite the fact that I was with Pat Witherall, the same guy who introduced me to Hellgramites. Well, we went on to 2 more fishing trips with Pat and his gang, and you'll see those in the next couple of months. Now, speaking of the Hellgramite adventure, I got a letter from a woman in Ada, Michigan named Julie, who says, "I am writing to tell you I have a problem with you. I've never been much of a fan of your show, but my husband watches it every Thursday and Saturday. He loves your show because he says you were like an average guy, not like these boring know-it-all pros." Well, I've been told that I'm kind of a boring know-it-all average guy, but that's nice that Bob enjoys the show. Now, Julie went on to say, "When that nasty-looking bug bit you, even though I'm sure it hurt, it was very humorous." But anyway, back to why I'm writing. After the show on Thursday, Bob taped it on Saturday. I swear, since then he has watched it at least 100 times. I can't get him to do anything around the house. Now, I admit it was good. I watched it twice myself, but enough is enough. I will be a fan of yours forever if you could find time on one of your shows to say 5 quick words. Bob, put the tape away. Sincerely, having a nervous breakdown, Julie Merritt from Ada, Michigan. Okay, mission accomplished there. I think if I lost an arm to a snapping turtle or something like that, my ratings would go right through the roof. I mean, keep watching. You never know what's going to happen.